Hello and a warm welcome. This is Generation Next, a youth movement platform geared towards inspiring, motivating, and directing young people's participation towards responsibilities in the developing society. We are working to raise awareness on issues and challenges the youth are faced with in order to effect a positive change. Of course, I am your presenter, Sarah Chod, and it is with great humility today, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you. Of course, we always say teachers, like there's a song that says, J.S.A, no jangal jambari. So it's important that we acknowledge that, but also it's important we give back. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. J.S.A. Kemokai, who is a Sierra Leonean national based in the Gambia. He is a legend, mentor, and a profound teacher worthy of emulation. Mr. Kemokai spent 31 years of active teaching at Nusrat High School, one of the best schools in the Gambia, where he officially retired from active teaching on December 2020. Mr. Kemokai is a hero who has made outstanding contribution to education in the Gambia. His commitment to education laid solid foundations for his students, who most of them are doing well today in their diverse walks of life at home and abroad. Mr. J.S.A. Kemokai is the proprietor of Brimawa Nursery, Primary and Junior Secondary School in the Gambia. It's a pleasure. It's a great pleasure, Mr. Kemokai, that we have you here today on Generation Next.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful to God initially and to you, the Generation Next, for having me. I want to also take this opportunity to welcome you to Brimawa Upper Basic School, or what we call the Junior Secondary School. That's where we are at the moment.
Right.
So I'm happy to be with you and be your guest, as it were, so that we see what is in what I have for young people, especially coming up, like you rightly said, in this developing world, how we empower them, how we prepare them, and what we have been doing, etc. So thank you so much. You know, it's a pleasure to have you as well.
Pleasure is all ours. We're actually happy. Like I said, what we try to do is to motivate the young ones, to inspire the young ones, because as it stands now, the generation is so chaotic, and oftentimes most young people think that you basically would just or would be born and you've got everything on the silver platter. It becomes easy for you. But also, I always say that anyone that you see glaring today, we are quick to say, oh, I want to be like that person. Oh, you know, I wish to do this. I wish to get this.
That's right.
But it's important that we understand how that person begins. I always say there is a story. Everybody has a story. Now, in taking us back to your story, what would you say are your earliest childhood memories that made you who you are today?
Great question. Really, if I am today a teacher, it all started when I was very young. When I was going to school, I am a Syrian, actually, and when I was going to school, the early part of it, I admire teachers. So they used to teach, and when I come out from classroom, we used to go to follow our parents to the farm, you know, back in the provinces. So I will go myself and sort of rehearsing what the teachers are doing, even in the farm. You know, I will, we have this, I will just go around like these leaves, you know, I look at them as if they are my students and be asking them questions. And if you don't answer, you know, I just strike you a little bit there, you know, and go around. So honestly, it's like right from there, you could see the passion I had. So therefore, as God would see somebody's heart preparing you for the journey. So on completion of my senior secondary school, let me start from there. You know, I enrolled in the teacher training college back at home. And that was even at the primary school already level. Because I believe in one thing, that I should be trained. I should be qualified. I don't just rush into it, because, it's like I wanted to do it,
Right.
Maybe like this man, my teacher who was then, I can remember very well, Teacher Bernard, he was like a great man. So I admire that guy. And so I entered the teacher training college, and I pursue the what we call the teacher certificate for the primary school, which I graduated. And then I taught for a while in Freetown, and I was not like satisfied. I still went further and studied for a higher secondary school, preparing myself for the junior and the senior. So I enrolled myself. I studied hard. I qualified to enter to Milton Magai. We call it Milton Magai Training College back at home. So after completing that, again, I went to a secondary school, Hartford School for Girls. That's where I taught for a couple of years. And then, I could remember very vividly, there you have these people who come from the university.
Right.
And I was teaching in the secondary school, but they were already having a degree, so I was having a higher teacher certificate. But I could see myself, it's like, I can do what these people have done in life. So I studied a little harder again, and entered into a university, Frobe College, where I studied accounting. Initially, I wanted to do mathematics, but I just said, the world is going commercial. I think I turned around and studied accounting. And that is Kemokai moving, through the area of education.
Right.
And so when I was at the university, Frobe College, that's where, if I am in the Gambia today, I'm telling you now what happened. God made it possible for me to be very close to Gambians. So, you have Gambian students in the university. And so we were very close. But at one point in time, some of my relatives, they were missing me for Gambians. They said, you are a Gambian already. So I was very close to them, honestly. And that was it. Somewhere in the early 90s, when we completed our studies, I remember Mr. J.S.A. We are all doing accounting. And the embassy in Freetown, Gambia embassy in Freetown, they used to come to the embassy. So I was at the university when he went back and said, boy, I have some opportunity for you. I don't know whether you want to try it. I said, what is it like? He said, well, back at home in the Gambia, there is a school, Nusra Senior Secondary School, and they really want a good teacher. And so for me, I know who you are. We are all studying together, and they want a teacher in accounting. So I don't know whether you would want to do that, want to go there. So I don't know, that's it. So I said, fine. Then what happened was, I remember Mr. J.S.A. He was the Gambian ambassador there. So he invited me when Sergeant Jar recommended me. But that day, it's like they did it in such a way I didn't even know. They just called, the man just called me, I want to see you. So when I entered, in a very informal way, I sat down, talked with him, and, at the end of the talk, I would call it, he said, Mr. Kemokai, did you know that I'm trying to interview you today? And we are looking for a teacher. I am not an accountant. He said, but you have the hallmark, all what it takes to be a good teacher, that you have actually impressed me. So I would obviously identify you as somebody to go to Gambia.
Wow.
So that was it. So I was identified by the embassy, and the school also now put in place my appointment and everything. And something else happened. By the time we finished this university, I didn't pick up any job because I was already on this process. By then, the Gambian students, we are all studying together. They had already come home, so we completed, and Sergeant J.S.A., I remember. So Sergeant J.S.A. came, and he went to Nusrat, and he was asking them that we were trying to get a teacher for your school. And I remember he said, the principal there, Mr. Iba, said, well, you know, even you yourself, you are a Gambia, can't you teach? He said, no, me, I'm not teaching. I have a friend. That's what I'm here for. So actually the school expressed some apprehension a little bit. They said, well, we have tried some people, we have even paid for people to come to teach, but they didn't come. So then he said, look, I am here. I can even, as it were, vouch for this man. I can even guarantee him.
Wow.
If he doesn't come, then I will be responsible for whatever expenditure you guys, you know, do it. So that was it. So then the school had to send mine, pay for my airfare,
Okay.
and they said they were going to employ me as an expatriate teacher.
Right.
So that was how I got into the Gambia
Right.
to teach at Nuzwa Senior Secondary School.
Right.
And that was in 91, as it were.
Okay.
You know, yes.
Wow.
So that was it.
Right.
So at Nuzwa Senior Secondary School, I started. I'm passionate about teaching. I had already taught some experience back at home.
Okay.
So when I came, you know, I knew I have come for business. So I didn't know that here in this country, at that time, and I believe even now, more or less it's the students who will determine who you are really, the one that you are teaching.
Okay.
Whether you are a good teacher,
okay,
or you are not up to the task.
Okay.
You know, so I didn't know. So I was busy teaching. But one thing is, I'm passionate about teaching, so I would prepare myself, go to the class. We had brilliant students. I remember people like Nyundo Stella. Those were students, if you are teaching them, I tell you, you have to know what you are doing.
Right. You need to research. You need to really research.
You really need to prepare yourself.
Right.
Okay, so we taught those ones. And after a couple of months or so, 1 or 2 months, I didn't know. The principal had already called the students and inquired about me. And said, wow, about this man. We have employed him to come from Sierra Leone here. How is he doing? They said, this. I didn't even know. They said, this man is great. We have got a teacher that we have been looking for.
Wow.
So at that time, the students were happy with me. But also, I didn't know. I saw in the school, one thing about school, even back at home where I was, I realized that school is all about discipline.
Okay.
And I saw this Mr. Iba, the principal then, he wanted somebody to assist him in the area of discipline.
Okay.
So nobody told me about that. I straight away took up that opportunity. Since I would go to work very early, so I will be there, you know, trying to control the students here and there. So the principal, again, look at me from that point of view. I didn't know whether he had already got some satisfaction in the area of teaching. So then when he saw me again, he did not invite me. I took up this opportunity. I was teaching and I was trying to control students, try to ensure discipline in the school. So I think he realized that this guy is really an asset. So you cannot believe it. The next year, that was, I think, remember, 92, I met quite a whole lot of personnel teaching in the place. And the man made me a senior teacher already, just after a year. You know? So it's like, you know, he wanted to hold on me, you know, so that's it. And we are at Nuzrat. And so that was an encouragement. When the principal realized, you know, my potential or teaching effectively. And the first set of results I remember came out. Okay. And that was all the way in 91. And by then, the school had not even got a distinction. We call it a distinction. Right. We were right in the O level by then. You know, a distinction before. So, but the two areas I was teaching, both management and accounting, when the results were released, for the first time, the school was able to get, you know, a distinction in those subject areas.
Wow.
And so, right away there, I was satisfied myself. Right. I was happy. The school was happy. And that's it. So we started actually carrying on, as it were. I know that it's a joy to me to really have the students. And one thing about also the students I observed when I came, these are brilliant students. I don't know, the cohort of brilliant students. You are teaching them, a whole lot of them. You know, they wanted teaching, they wanted to be taught well, etc. So that is how we were going, you know, bit by bit. Then I realized that in the area of the students, I need to motivate them. if we are talking about business, I wanted them to begin to realize, give them some practical business orientation. So I said, I tried to set up what we call a commerce club. I didn't meet that in the school. So I set that up as a commerce club with a focus on students. So what did I do? I called them, I talked to them what we wanted to do, and they were like, they received it very well. So I said, okay, but we needed the practical aspect of it. So I wrote a letter, I remember, to the storage, I think it was the how do you call them? The Gambega.
Okay.
Now, you know,
Gambega, yeah. Make
drinks, yes.
Okay.
The soft drinks.
Soft drinks,
yes.
Yeah.
I remember Coke.
Yeah.
So I wrote letter to them.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to do, I wanted to, the student to start understanding that this whole business is about practical. When you learn the theory, you need to be given the opportunity to start applying your knowledge.
Right.
So that was how the Gambega then was very happy about my initiative, and they supported us. They gave us a refrigerator, I remember, a big one, and they gave us drinks on sale and return basis. They said, you can go ahead, your student can sell, whatever you are able, you come and pay, and then we continue. So that we already got, by then, the management of the school had actually changed. Mr. Iba left, and Mr. Bojan actually was then the principal. So he was also very kind, and he knew the potential in me. So he gave me a place in the school where we could start a canteen. So that's it. So we have a canteen. We have students who will sell soft drinks, you know, to the other students, and you have to keep a little bit of record, because you have to give account of what you are doing, you know, etc. You know, that's it. So we have the commerce club off ground going on, and we are also working hard. And we continue like that until I remember the year 2000. In the year 2000, we were running, a UTG had started, the Gambia University, and they identified Nusrat to prepare some students who were not, as it were, really have not satisfied all the requirements they needed, like English, they needed like mathematics. So we were providing that facility, training students, so that then the university would then, you know, go and write the examination, and then they matriculate. So we were doing that, I think that was 1999 up to 2000. And the university took over from us, from the school. Okay, then I sat and looked at the teachers that we have, caliber teachers. Already, we had already started the A level, the advanced level. You know, by then, after the high school, you have to go and do the A level. So we did the A level, and we were also getting good results in A level. And in 2000, we had great teachers in the school, you know. And what I thought of, I talked to Mr. Bojan. I said, if we have these teachers, including myself, I think we could open up what we call a professional studies. In other words, we have our students, they are going through secondary school. After the end of secondary school, what are they going to do? So LMDI, by then, they were all offering these courses, you know, and then we entered into that. I talked to Mr. Bojan. I took up the initiative and talked to him, and he gave me all the support. And I had to do all what it required. Went to national training, NTA by then, you know, authority. And then we eventually registered with that training authority. So we set up a tertiary level, as it were, so that when you complete your secondary school, you could have an opportunity where you could have some professional studies that were offered in other places like MDI. Of course, when we started, you know, it's like, I remember MDI was frowning at it a little bit. So why are you people, that is not your area. You have a secondary school, why are you going into that area? I remember that, but we had already gone a little far with that. And Mr. Bojan, I was talking with him, and we said that, well, look, we have gone even some international recognition with like ICA, Institute of Commercial Management based in UK. Yeah. So the people wrote to, I think even the MDI, they said, well, you know what? Competition is healthy. In any area, if you have people competing, then it becomes healthy, even for the customer. Right. So if this school, they said they are senior school, and they want to also go to the tertiary level, I think they can go ahead. So we started. Right. And we were given a license, and we started everything. That's how we started the tertiary aspect of the school. Okay. Yes. So we were actually having the tertiary now, as well as the senior secondary school education going on. Okay. And Mr. Bojan tasked me, we both to also work to teach, as it were, and also handle the professional aspect when we started. Right. So that's how we started. And in fact, that was at that time, I happened to also know Mr. Mohammed Troali. He was my student, and entered for a professional training. Right. And later on, I also identified him as somebody who was very smart, very disciplined. Right. And so there was this opportunity where we had to employ somebody as well in the admin. So I had to call on him, and he accepted, and that's it. So we started, we started working with me, at the center. Yeah. So this has taken us beyond 2000 now. Okay. And something else, during all this time I'm talking about, I'm at Nusrat, something else started occurring to me. I remember this is a good school where we are. Right. And we have good teachers, good students, having good results everywhere, both at the tertiary, both at the secondary school level, And I was involved in the admission exercise. But I noticed that the Bundung community, this is a school, a very good school. But when we are doing our admission, for Nusra Senior Secondary School, all that these years have been observing, I realized that most of the students we admit, they always come from outside, far and near, not Bundu inside, as it were. So I started picking up that. I said, wow. But I believe that the community itself should benefit from this. That's true. But the standard is high. You have to satisfy the entry requirement before you come there. So that was how the vision, actually, of starting a school. By then, what we are talking, we were having at Nusrat, we were having a junior school. But then government phased that out. And so they said that we can only now do as a senior secondary school. Okay. So meaning that we were no longer having a feeder school at Nusrat. Okay. So the admission that we were doing, even, as I said, more or less, most of them were from outside. Okay. And that was how it was a burden in my heart. Right. Over time, the community is not benefiting much. Right. So I remember that was around 2007. Okay. I came home one day. I was talking with my wife. My wife also happened to be a teacher. Oh. I'm a professional teacher, and she was then teaching at...
I can see where the passion still is.
Yeah. Teaching at Marina International School. Okay. Yeah, I was teaching at Nusrat, as well. Right. So I came and shared the vision with her. I said, wow, I said, that is great. I think we can embark on this because it's all about community. Right. And it's all about, how the community can benefit from Nusrat. Because Nusrat, the standards are there uncompromising. You have to achieve it before you are enrolled, as a student there. So in 2008, we started so my wife said, look, we are going to start it right from the start. Right. Well, that's how we started a nursery school. A nursery school. My wife came from school and started training, the teachers there. And we had a little bit of money. One thing about was this whole story, like if I say that, Mr. Kemokai has been in Newsrat for 30 years, he has retired, wow, he has got a lot of money now. But that's not the issue.
Right.
The issue was I was employed as an expatriate teacher, and the school was paying me. After every 4 years, they will give me some money.
After every 4 years?
Yes, after every 4 years, they will give me what we call gratuity. So it was this money I was saving, and with what my wife was also getting.
Right.
And we said, we have to go into this. You understand? We didn't rely on anybody. We had this vision, and we said, let's go into it. Because we already are professionals. So there are a lot of things we already know.
Yeah.
We can do for ourselves.
Right.
We don't even need to employ anybody.
Right.
That's it. So we started a nursery school there. And again, God seen my heart and that of my wife eventually, that we are trying to bring up students to a standard where they will go to Nusrat Senior Secondary School so that the community benefits from Nusrat. Okay? So I remember in after 2008, it was 2013, the parents were saying, well, you guys, you have done very well at the nursery school level. What about the primary school level? So we said, okay, we venture into it. As God could have it again, we were able to identify my landlord by then had another compound. He's the one who even encouraged us. He took us to a place where we are now at the late Bala Musa Mane, of blessed memory. He's the one who gave us that compound. He said, I see you people, what you people like is just this teaching, so you can use this compound. I established this compound, but I was not able to finish it. So that was how we went to Bundun Borehole. So I started saying something that because we are talking about Bundung community. We started a place at the nursery school in Bundung, and the other place we got for the primary school also in Bundung.
Right.
So we like God is developing it for us. So we had now we got this place, and the ministry came and looked at the place. They said, fine, if you people can bring up this place to a standard, you can operate here. So that's how we opened the primary school there. We had a meeting with the parents and we told them our vision. Of course, you could imagine that when we started, the parents in all that Bundun area, all this Bundun area, we call them and they will see that they will inquire that, this school is a private school. I will not be able to enter here. My children will not be able to enter here. This is going to be very expensive. Okay?
Yeah.
So what I decided to do, I would call the meeting. The parents in that Bulu community, and they all came as God would have it. And we introduced ourselves. I introduced myself. I introduced my wife. Right. And also what we are trying to do. Right. So we have the nursery school. This is our lower basic now. So we talk about it until I remember one man said, for me, I believe that this is a blessing for this community. Right. Because you see, this man is at Nusrat. And he has spent so many years at Nusrat. And he wants our children to learn in this community. Right. His wife also is a teacher from Marina School. So if these two people come together to establish a school, I think let's look at the blessing side more than the issue of money, etc. Yeah. So, but we look at that and we said, okay, we needed to start anyway. So we asked the parents, now what can you afford? What can you afford so that we start this business? Because we needed to put in place some teachers, etc. And I remember that time, that was around something like 2013. We had that meeting and we talked with the parents until we reached at $500.
Oh dear.
So we started. We said, okay, if that's what you can afford, let's go ahead. We started. with all this I'm talking about, we do not have anybody like as a sponsor who will give us money, no. But we just believe that we are following our passion.
Right.
We are following our heart,
Right.
And we believe that God is helping us. So that was it. We had this all this time. I was also at Nusrat,
Right. Right.
put in place these teachers. My wife also at Marina,
Yeah.
so we will come to the school, check doing what we should do, and then leave the teachers there working with them. Wow. We started work like that. And we were going on. The parents then, it was even the ministry who said that, say, you guys, I think you have to reconsider what you are saying. $500, you'll not be able to pay the teachers. So we said, okay, we are going to start. What would happen is we will call the parents and tell them, this is the fact, it's a private school, but the money there. So we started one time. So at the end of that time, with the $500, we called the parents. They saw what we are doing. And they said that we are ready. Let's increase it a little. So we all agreed again and increase it a little, and so that the children could stay, so that we also would have a little bit of money to pay the teachers especially. And we are doing that. And gradually, the school was approved by the Ministry of Education, both the nursery and the lower basic, which is the primary school, approved by the Ministry of Education, because they were really very much impressed with what we were doing. I am a teacher. I would do a lot of work, actually, by that time, because we are not having money. So I know what to do. So I had to work at Nusrat. I have to spend nights, sleepless nights, doing what I wanted to do, record, do this, do that, at night for the school, and get the teachers going there. That's how we are going on until, again, when the students reach grade 6, I remember, we had to go to a junior school. And the ministry, we wanted to, the parents said, look, we're not going to leave you guys. You guys are going to continue with this work. You are going to go and tell this your ministry that you are going to start the junior school here for us. So we decided to go to the ministry, and we went there. We started. Actually, they came and they looked at the school. By then, my principal at Nusrat was very helpful. He said that now if you want, you are no. So I talked to him about the school. He had not actually come to visit us yet. So he gave us some assistance. Go ahead. You can get the teachers to help you, Nusrat teachers, so that they can also go there and teach at the junior school. So that's how we started the junior school. Most of the time, I was not even able to pay the teachers, but they are my colleagues, so they understood what we were trying to do. So we started the school there, and we started with I remember 2015. We started with the grade 7. Okay, and the ministry now came and said that, look, the primary school here and the junior school here, this compound will not be able to host, actually. You have to look for another place. And it's like, wow, where are we going? But again, I just started at my house that I told you, it's about Bundung. It's about trying to move the children to Nusrat Senior Secondary School. I had no intention, like the way when the thing was unfolding, I was not trying to make my school, Primawa school, as a feeder school, as it were. Because I know that to go to Nusrat is about competition. You have to meet the requirement. That one, uncompromising. So I knew what I was doing. So we came, somebody showed us this compound where we are now. This place was more or less like a den of thieves. This was a place where there was no building here at all. We came here and we talked with the owner, and the man talked to us and said, well, this is it. This is what has been happening. If you people come and you want to establish a school, because myself, I'm really tired Because when thieves break from other places in the community, they come and hide themselves in this place. So if you say you want to establish a school here, I think that the community will be more than happy. So that's how we got this place.
Okay.
Came to agreement with him, with regards to rent.
Wow.
So remember, we are already paying rent at the nursery, paying rent at the primary school there, and then we got this place. But we are following our passion. So we got this place,
Right.
and this building where we are.
Right.
I told you that when we were at the school, I used to get a little bit of money from my gratuity.
Yes.
And also, I realized that I have to get some money somewhere.
Right.
So I started writing reading material for the school, for Nusrat, in the area of accounting, management. My book were approved by the Ministry of Education. And so, like others, in the other colleagues in the school, so we were selling those books to the school. The school will give us some money, and that helped me with this building here.
Aww.
Okay, so we are able gradually, bit by bit, to build here. And interestingly, I try to contact quite a number of my ex-students.
Right.
And inform them about what I'm trying to do. I remember Ibrahim Asa. Ibrahim Asa is working for United Nations. He's based in France.
Okay.
I taught him at Nusrat.
Okay.
He knows me very well. And many others.
Right.
I remember Umar J.S.A. All these are A-level students who completed.
Right.
So I told them, and they actually were very much excited and gave me some assistance. What I was doing.
Right.
I remember the lower basic there at the primary school.
Okay.
When Ibrahim Asa came, he said, Mr. Kemokai, this is impressive.
Right.
What do you want? By then it was raining, like a rainy season like this.
Yeah.
The children, we were even saying, this kind of place, how our children will come here? So Ibrahim came. I said, Ibrahim, that's the problem I'm having. How can the children enter this place? So he said, Mr. Kemokai, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make a paved way for this school. So that when the children come, they will walk right through. And then they enter into their classes. So he went and bought cement, bought sand, paid the people, and they made that place already for me. So that place was secured. So basically, you can imagine all I am doing actually alongside with my wife, with great support. Honestly, that's why I always pray for you young people that, in life, one thing you may have, yes, you are passionate about doing anything, but you have a partner, you have a wife, who God has brought you together. If that person is not supportive of what you are doing, it's going to be difficult for you. But my wife, was just supportive in everything that we are doing.
Beautiful.
I tell you, even sometimes, I will just wake up and be praying for this woman. Because I am telling you, it has not been easy.
Yeah.
This woman, sometimes it will take maybe 3-4 years. She will not buy any dress. Because we needed some money here and there, to pay rent, to buy books, to do this, to do that. We are just to keep the school going. Okay? So maybe that is the situation. And in what also gave me some encouragement was, I think, 2017. 2018, we started this school, the upper basic, in 2015. The students were to write their first exam, the grade 9 exam, in 2018. But 2017, the Ministry of Education came, and in Region 1 here, they chose about 25 schools. They had what they call Central Committee meeting. They will come and visit all these schools, actually check the school, everything about the performance, quality, how you are doing, check record, do this. So they check all the 25 schools. And I tell you, it was a great day. When we went, so after they have done, I remember the present Minister of Education, she was the one She was heading the group that went to the school there to me.
Right.
You know, yeah. I was even at Nusrat, they called me.
Yeah.
And they said, if people have come, they are visiting your school. So I came around. They wanted me to show some document. I gave them some document. Okay? So we are doing that. This, and the lady, at the end of it all, they called us to Region 1 office there.
Yeah.
And all the principals, all the heads of school, for the ministry to report on the performances of schools.
Right.
After they visited them.
Right.
You cannot imagine.
Right.
I will just remember that day. You know, that by then, Mr. Babu Kabwe was the permanent secretary at Ministry of Education. And out of the 25 schools, you know, Brimawa School came first.
Oh my gosh.
So Brimawa School came first. And Mr. Boy, the permanent secretary, was so impressed.
Aww.
He said, I have heard about this. So let me tell you, everybody here, you know, this man is from another country.
Right.
If you like, maybe call him a foreigner. But these are the kind of people we want in this country. You can see what he has been doing. This school we are talking about is a school built very close to our own school. That is Bondo School. And so Bondo School is a free school.
Right.
But you see, parents are bringing their children from that Bondo School to this other school here. You know, two things that the parents know.
Right.
One, they know that it's about affordability. They can afford, they pay the fees. And secondly, they can also show the quality of their service, the teaching they are doing. So that is why it's making this school, you know, growing up rapidly. So I believe that all of you guys who are hearing us here today,
right,
you know, on this report that they are school, we are giving to schools here,
right,
you can, this school is all around.
Right.
You can visit them and see what they are doing.
Obviously.
So, in short, we have been doing work like that. So in 2018, our students did the first grade 9 exams.
Okay.
And I remember we had actually about, by then we prepared about 20 of them.
Okay.
And those 20, we had about 20 of them.
Yeah.
10 of them.
Yeah.
Actually were able to qualify to go to Nusrat.
Aww.
10 could not, you know. So I told them, well,
yeah,
you know, it's about Nusrat.
Right.
It's about performance.
Right.
So we have started. That's not a bad start. That's about 50%.
Okay.
Okay. So the next year, that was 2019, the figure went up to like 30.
Right.
And out of that 30, we were able to get about 20 of them qualified.
Wow.
To enter Nusrat. Okay, that represents something like 67%.
Okay.
And in 2020, that was COVID actually. By the time now COVID came, you know, it affected everywhere, you know, of the society.
Okay.
So our performance actually dropped. We sent about 40 students, and only 15 of them were able to qualify to go to Nusrat. That's about 38%.
Okay.
And then in 2021, we sent about 64.
Right.
You know, the number was growing.
Yeah.
And then, but out of that 64, only 30.
Wow.
Half of them.
Right.
We are able to qualify because that was still COVID time.
Okay.
You know, it's like that was a challenge. You know, the educational system, COVID affected everywhere. You know, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
so, but we're gradually getting out of post-COVID now time. And so in 2023, we again sent about 45 students from grade 9 here, and got about 32 of them who were able to qualify to go to Nusrat.
Okay.
That's about 71%. I must be grateful also. Okay. Like as I said, because all this we are talking is about teachers.
Right.
You have to get the caliber of students, but equally you have to have teachers who are very good, committed to work, you know, and working hard. Right. So all these teachers, some of them come from Nusrat Senior Secondary School, would help, and then we go back,
Right.
you know. But then I said to myself that, to improve on this situation, we better try to get some more, though we are not having money,
Right.
because we had a lot of challenges in that area. I said that we better try to have some more resident teachers, full-time, not part-time.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So that was how the idea would come to me. There's a gentleman sitting down at the back over there. He's one of those. So at the end of every year, when we finish school over there at Nuzwa Senior Secondary School, I will go around and look for one of the best students. I said, when you finish your writing your grade 12 exam, you better go to Brimawa and you can be helping us. So that I created a little bit of employment for them. Okay. But I needed them because for them, one thing I knew is that we may say, well, they have not been trained, but if they are delivering, I know what they are teaching is right. True. Because they are able, So I was trying to get a good number of them. So they will come and help me here. Some of them will go, leave and go to the university. And even as I'm talking, some of them are here, like that gentleman. He's even in the university, and he is here. And they are coming here as full-time, has greatly helped the school. Oh. If I'm talking about, like we are talking about last year, 2022, and we sent about 45, and we got 32 of them qualified, because we had the teachers now. Yes. Because we remember that the students were coming from our nursery school, they will come to the primary school, and then most of them primary school, they will come to the upper basic here. Right. Okay, some of them, their parents will say we cannot afford, so they will take their children somewhere. Yeah. So basically, it has been a long journey, and we're still on the journey. Right.
Obviously, it's never an easy journey. Of course, anybody listening or watching your story would realize that it wasn't easy, and it wasn't a day's thing. It took a long time, but perseverance gets it there. Absolutely. And oftentimes people would say, I don't have this, so I cannot do this. So basically your story is telling us that you don't have to have this to do this. It's about the willingness, the commitment, the perseverance, and then the help would start coming. Absolutely. So it's a beautiful lesson that we, the young people, need to learn from. Because I think nowadays, young people, we are not willing to put in the work. I think that's the problem most of us are faced with. And listening to your story, like you said, it's not about because you are a foreigner, but you are a foreigner doing what non-foreigners are doing in this country. And I think it's something that is worth applauding for. But again, as a teacher, because we always say that presidents are made, teachers make presidents, doctors, teachers make doctors. Absolutely. So whatever you've become today is because of a teacher. But again, looking at you with, of course, you've mentioned your wife supporting you throughout. I think that is remarkable. She deserves an applause. That's why they say, a woman is always, is making it happen. Well, I always say that. Absolutely. But it's really beautiful. On a final note, I would have loved to let you continue because I know your story would never end. But on a final note, to sum it up, your story, what else would you want young people to learn from your story? Yes.
Yeah, like as I said, when I look at Generation Next, we are talking about young people. Yes. And young people, I look at them like the building itself. Right. So the builders, when you see a building, you don't actually see the builders. Right. You come and see a nice building, say, wow, this is great. Right. But you don't see the builders. So if you look at us, we are the builders, as it were. Right. So that's why I started by actually appreciating and take it as an honor, because I am one of those builders, though we are at the background, but what you see is the building. So like you rightly said, challenges are everywhere. I tell you, and it's about your passion, and that is important. You have to have passion for what you are doing. You have to love what you are doing. The issue is not so much about money, because if you're looking out for money, then it's going to be difficult for you to start. But your passion will always lead you there. And because of your passion, you are ready to make the sacrifice. You are making sacrifice. And like you rightly said, because God sees your heart, actually what you are trying to achieve, You know, he begins to bring people closer to you who will assist you along the way. Those difficulties, like we are still facing a lot of challenges. We have got the teachers, they are teaching, and we have to pay them. Rent is there, we have to pay them. We wish we have people who can even help us, because definitely it's not an easy thing. I remember the last time I listened to Generation X,
Right.
there was this lady in Freetown.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, Fatima.
Yeah, Fatima. You know, I love that lady.
Yeah.
You know, so she said something. She said, you know, let me tell you about this work I am doing. You know, one, I separate myself from the work itself,
Right.
so that everybody knows that the work has to stand.
Yeah.
But it is stressful, but it is your passion. When you are, the joy that you have in doing what you are doing, you love what you are doing, will keep you going. You know, those stresses, you'll be able to manage them as you go. So I love what she was saying. I was just saying that this lady, this small young lady is just like Kemokai, you know. I said,
Obviously.
it's all about that. Young people today, you know, it's about determination. Love what you are doing. Money will come. That's what I know of. Look, listen, everybody, if you render a service, you are to be paid.
Right.
So services are to be paid for.
Yes.
But if you are trying to put money before a service, you see, experience has taught me that you will never get the money that you are looking for. It means that you keep running after the money,
Right.
with the service.
Right.
But if you understand, God gives you a wisdom, and you have the service,
Right.
put the service before the money,
Okay.
then I tell you, money keeps running after you.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, a wise, or how is it normally said? Word for the wise. It's enough for the wise. So obviously we've all heard it, and I'm too emotional. I tend to cry sometimes. But hey ho, yes, I'm sure Mohammed has synchronized the message, and you young people out there watching, you've also synchronized the message. That was all we have time for. Until we come your way again. It's a cheers from the entire Generation Next team. Until cheers.
Thank you.